to Run Info Bites, helping you fuel yourself for success. And today I want to talk to you about gluten, which is a hot topic these days, and so it should be. I mean, it's estimated that up to 1/3 of the general population suffers from gluten intolerance, yet only 1% of that third actually know they have a gluten intolerance, which leaves a lot of people walking around out there without any idea of what to attribute their symptoms to. And then there's celebrities like Victoria Beckham and Gwyneth Paltrow who have jumped on the gluten-free bandwagon and attribute it to their flat abs and the ability to lose weight effortlessly. So what to do? Should you jump on the gluten-free bandwagon? Which, of course, would mean giving up the bagels, the bread, the pasta, which are very typical runner's fare. And is it even safe for runners to consider giving up these traditional high carbohydrate foods? So I want to talk to you today about how to determine if you should kick gluten to the curb and what to do if you suspect you might have a gluten intolerance. So let's start by looking at what symptoms do you want to look for to determine whether you might have a gluten intolerance. So the first one to look for would be digestive issues. Maybe you're bloated all the time, really bloated at the end of the day. It could be visually, you can see the bloating, or maybe you just feel really bloated. You might have cramping. You might wake up with a cramped stomach. It could be something like diarrhea, running to the bathroom at the most inopportune times, or on the flip side, constipation, the stuff that is really kind of embarrassing to talk about. Maybe you're suffering from IBS, or you could be suffering from heartburn or indigestion. You could also be suffering from anemia, low iron, or have trouble keeping your iron stores up. You might be suffering from just chronic fatigue, always being tired all the time and really not understanding why. You could suffer from anxiety attacks or depression. Maybe you have migraines all the time. And gluten intolerance has also been linked to nerve damage. So I hope you're not suffering from all of these symptoms all at once, but even if you have just a few of them, you definitely will want to consider gluten intolerance. What to do if you think you might have a gluten intolerance? So the most common solution is to get rid of all gluten out of your diet for a couple weeks and then slowly reintroduce it and see how you feel. The problem I find with doing it that way is when somebody has a food intolerance, it's often not just to one food, it often presents in multiple foods. So if you have a sensitivity to gluten and also to dairy, you get rid of just the gluten for a few weeks, you're not really going to feel that much better. You bring it back in, you're not going to really feel that much worse. So you'll conclude you don't have a gluten intolerance. Whereas in fact, if you'd removed both the dairy and the gluten, you would have realized you feel tons better. Both of those foods were problems, and you need to keep them out until your GI system is healed. So what to do? You have two options. You can either go to a naturopathic doctor and have them test you for all the foods you might be intolerant to. You'll get a list and avoid them all until your GI system is healed. Or the other option would be to work with a nutritionist such as myself, and we would take out all of the foods that people are typically intolerant to and slowly bring them in one by one. And the reason why I recommend working with a nutritionist is because it can be very, very difficult to fuel yourself properly when taking out foods that a lot of people see as cornerstones to their diet and they'd have no idea what to do without it. And there's a reasons behind why we develop food intolerances, and we need to understand why we developed the food intolerance in the first place in order to heal from it. And the first reason would be stress. Maybe we lead really stressful lives. We're always on the go, go, go. Maybe our jobs are really stressful and we carry the stress from the job home with us, and at home we're go, go, go. I mean, stress causes heart disease. So is it really any surprise that stress can cause food intolerances? I think not. And the second reason is reaching for packaged processed foods all the time. So when we're running around grabbing food from restaurants, picking up boxed suppers on the way home, grabbing packaged granola bars for snacks, this over time will lead to food intolerances, can lead to food intolerances. And the last reason is because the wheat that we're eating today has been hybridized so much that it looks nothing like the ancient grain we ate thousands of years ago. It's been made to make lighter and fluffier bread, And over time, I mean, they even add extra gluten to the bread, and over time, this will absolutely result in food intolerances, gluten intolerances. Now tell me, what do you think? Do you think this whole gluten-free thing is just a passing fad? Or do you think there's something to it? Do you actively avoid gluten? Or do you have a hunch maybe you should? Let me know in the comment box below this video over at eattorun.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want to make sure you're on the list to receive a new video every week, along with personal stories I only share in my newsletters, head on over to eattorun.com and sign up to receive info bites delivered to your inbox each and every Thursday. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time on Eat to Run Info Bites. Or flat ass, fluffier, fluffier, fluffier.